Hello, Ginger here from Webwench DIY Nails. Today I'm going to show you a fresh builder gel overlay. What you see here is my nail after I had pried off. I thought I was popping peelies, but I had caught the overlay with the orange wood stick that I used to pry it up, and the lifting just kept spreading. So the whole thing wound up coming off, and now we're left with just the natural nail. And you can see here where some of it didn't want to come off, so it did pull off some pieces of my natural nail. So I went in and I did my cuticle prep already. I have a video for that I will link to in the top right hand corner called the cards. I'll drop that video up there for you so you can see the cuticle prep. But for now, this nail is ready because after I did that, I took a buffer file, the very, very fine grit file, and I roughed up the part of the nail that had grown out and was just fresh. So remembering that your gel base needs a rough surface to kind of get into and stick to. That's why we do that. Again, this is a fresh nail, and we're going to do the builder gel overlay. After your cuticle prep is complete, I take a lint-free wipe with some alcohol, and I just clean the dust off the nail with that. All right, so the first step is going to be, I like the iGel Beauty. They seem to work the best for me, most consistently. I've used Young Nails Bond, and yeah, it didn't seem to work as good with my body chemistry as these two do. So we have a pH bonder and an Ultra Bond primer. The pH bonder is what you use to remove moisture and oil from the nail plate layers. So that's first. I use these all the time. I just always have to read it to make sure I know which one goes first. The cleaning and the removing of oils is first. So that's the pH bonder. So we go in. And we just apply this to the natural nail. I try to keep all chemicals off my skin because in general that's a good idea. And you can see almost immediately it's turning my nail white. That's good. That means it's dehydrating, it's cleaning, it's taking the oils out. And that's what we want in order to get the best adhesion of the product. You can see it's turning white. That's good. That means it's dehydrating and the product will stick better. The next step is the Ultra Bond primer. This, what does it say? It says apply to the natural nail surface to improve adhesion between natural nail and artificial nail. Works for UV gel and acrylic nail application. So what this does is gives your base coat something to stick to, okay? And what I like to do is kind of massage it into all the little creases created by your filing when you roughed it up. So I kind of do this back and forth over the entire nail to not only apply to the surface, but to get into all the little grooves left by my file. And I do this liberally, and I do my best to make sure that I get the entire nail. And sometimes that requires me to get some more on my brush because when I push back and forth it separates. See how the brush separates like that? I don't like that. But again, I'm going back and forth to make sure that I get it in all the little grooves that I created when I filed the nails. So kind of just massage it in there. So this is dry by now, so I'm going to open up my HEMA-free base coat from Double Dipped. And I'm just going to apply a very thin layer. It does not have to be thick. Just a thin layer so the builder gel that I'm about to put on afterwards has something to stick to. I'm going to drop my initial bead on the apex area, and then I'm going to place my brush on my nail and push back close to but not touching the cuticle area. And then I'm going to drag the excess down the length of the nail, and I'm going to pay particular attention to the sides of the nail down to the side walls, not flooding them. You noticed I brushed off the excess base gel off my brush before I took it to my nail, because I know that this has to be very precise and thin, and I don't want to flood my sidewalls. I try to get this application as thin and as even as possible without flooding my sidewalls or the cuticle area, because this is the base for all of your manicures. You want to get it just right. If you spend time on anything, I would recommend, oops, no. If you spend time being patient and doing things correctly, this is a good place to start. Your foundation provides structure for any manicure that you do over it. So make sure it's not touching your skin. I should be wearing gloves, but it's only one nail that I'm fixing right now. I started doing my Builder Gel overlays before I was really recording everything that I did. So I have yet to record a Builder Gel application from scratch, from a fresh nail. So that's why I decided to film this one. I know I just did 2 Builder Gel videos, repairs mostly, and I did a fill and a repair. I'll leave those links in the cards also. But I wanted to make sure, for those of you who have been thinking about using Builder Gel, I wanted you to see an application from a fresh application over a natural nail. So I'm going to go, this is the base coat. I'm going to put this in my lamp for, it says 30 seconds. I always do 60 anyway. And because this is the first coat on my natural nail, I'm expecting a heat spike. So I'm going to just leave it. Oh, let me show you this. So when you anticipate a heat spike, one of the things that you can do to help avoid that is turn your light on and hold the nail just outside the lamp where it's just getting a little bit of the light, because it's the initial chemical reaction to the light in the gel that causes the heat spike. So if you do this, it kind of starts the chemical reaction in a non-intense manner all at once, so that I turn it off and then I start the full minute now. Put that in there now, just as you normally would, and there's no heat spike. I learned that from Young Nails. That's a great tip, because especially, I wanted to mention this because when you're putting your first Builder Gel overlay on your nails, Builder Gel, out of all the gels I've used, base, tops, matte top, regular, all the gels, polish, out of every gel product that I've used so far, the Builder Gel is the one that I normally get heat spikes from. And maybe it's the viscosity, the thickness of the Builder Gel. It's the, as far as I know, it's the thickest gel you can get before you get to like a hard gel. So I'm logically assuming that it is because of the viscosity of the Builder Gel that it's more likely to give me a heat spike. All right, so I've got my base coat down. I cured that for 60 seconds. Now it's time for the Builder Gel. So I have double dipped HEMA-free Builder Gel here in clear, and that's what I'm going to use. I had a, now you see it growing out still on this hand. In here it is. This is a thermal purple builder gel that I had months ago. That's still growing out. And I loved it, but I always have a manicure over my builder gel, so this wasn't really seen very often. Anything I put over it, there was a chance that I could see the dark color builder gel coming up through my color, my dip color, polish, all of it. So I kind of had to plan my manicures. I still to this day have to plan my manicures in a way that makes it less likely for this color to show through. Back to this nail. This is the base coat is done. It will be tacky. For those of you that haven't used gels yet, I want to make you aware of these things. This is a tacky coat, so we're going to add our builder gel now. I can close my base coat. I'm done with that for tonight. So we open up our builder gel. Now, before I do this, I want to get my favorite brush out, which is this one. This is the one I use for my builder gel, because the shape is very nice. It works very well. And as you'll see here, the builder gel brush itself is not really good for getting it near the cuticle and the sidewall. So I use it to drop a bead of the builder gel on my nail in the apex area. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. Wait, let's start over. The apex is something we build on a nail to build structure and strength to the foundation of your nail. The reason we use the apex to build structure and strength is because we put it in the area of the nail that takes the most damage when there is stress put on the nail. So to show you this, putting stress on the nail is just like that, pushing down on the very tip. Now I want you to notice something. When I push down on the tip of my nail bed turns white in the apex area. So if you're having trouble finding the apex area or defining it, this is what I would do. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Press the tip of your nail down and look right here. That part of my nail turns white. That's the apex area. That's where you need the strength, because that's where the stress happens when you bang or press your nail too hard. So that's the apex area, and that's where you want to build a little bit of extra strength into your nail. And that's probably the most useful tip in this video. So, all right, now when I drop my builder gel onto my nail, I'm going to drop it in that apex area that we saw turn white. And that was right here. The reason that's where I drop my gel is because if I don't move enough of it, it's okay. That's the apex. It's only going to strengthen my nail. Another reason I do it that way is because I need to push back to the cuticle, and that's a good place to start. You can see it's starting to self-level already. So I try not to have to paint it onto the sidewalls. I try to let it settle in there and then just define the edges later. But right now I need to push this back a little bit. Am I in frame? I'm checking. Yes, okay. I push that back from where I placed it on the apex towards the cuticle, but not touching it like I just did there. And the first coat is going to be very thin and kind of just laying the groundwork for where the rest of my gel is going to go. And since I'm doing this with my left hand, I am shaky. I am not precise. So most of my time is going to be spent cleaning up so that the gel is not on my skin when I cure it. Don't freak out because everybody tells you don't get it on your skin, don't get it on your skin. while it's true that you increase your exposure by the gel touching your skin, so you want to avoid it if possible. Worse than that, the thing to make sure that you avoid is curing the gel onto your skin. That's even worse. So be aware. I got my builder gel on the nail. Now I need to take my cleanup brush and some alcohol and get that gel off my skin. Oh. And if you've been watching me for any amount of time at all, you know that I'm obsessed with letting everything self-level by holding my hand upside down. This first layer of builder gel, I don't think it's going to matter, but since doing this will help me build a natural apex in the right place, because gravity is pulling the gel down, and the very top of where it lands after it settles is actually the apex, so that works out very nicely. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the light that I did before, and I am going to, expose my nail slowly to the light so I don't get a heat spike. Fresh out of the lamp, our first layer of builder gel is done, and I'm just pulling the skin away from anything that might have. That's the edge of the nail, so that's, understandable. Now we know we're going to go file and buff after we're done, but you can see I don't have much of an apex built at all, so in this second layer I'm going to try to make sure I do that. Let a little bead stay on the brush, and hopefully I can make this so you can see it. I'm going to drop that bead of builder gel right where we found that white spot on the nail when I stressed it, because that's where the apex needs to be. That's where we want the extra strength, so we can build the structure of the nail up so it's strong and beautiful, just like us. Just drop it on there like that. Now, I don't want that on the tip. And let it self-level for just a little bit. And before it floods my sidewalls, I'm going to just wipe the extra like this, keeping it on the center line of the nail, because that's where I want to build the strength. I don't want to build it on the sides. I don't want to build it on the end. Just down the middle of the nail would be good. Thank you very much. Again, being careful not to let it slide down onto the sidewalls. And the extra, as it builds up on my brush, I'm going to put it back in the apex area to build that strength and structure. Checking my cuticle area to make sure it's not building up bulk there. We don't want that, but we do want it in this area here, the apex area. Down the nail. Now see, I think what I've done in the past that I shouldn't have is I've pulled most of the bead down from the apex area to the tip of the nail. So what I wound up with were thick tips, which nobody wants a thick tip, right? I mean, I want strength on the sides too. So this is a delicate balance between adding strength and adding bulk. That's what we're trying to avoid. So I'm just going to drop this other bead here, right in the apex area where I saw my nail turn white when I stressed it. Just like that. Not building thickness at the tip. And then I'm going to hold that upside down and let gravity build me an apex. Yes, build me an apex. Just like that. Yep, there it goes. So holding it upside down, you've got gravity pulling down on the builder gel. And maybe this is how I got thicker tips too, because again, all I have is logic, right? Logic and reasoning. Logically, if I tilt my hand this way, it will pull down that way. So maybe it's flowing towards the tip and I didn't file it down enough. The reason I want to tilt it is because I want to pull it away from the cuticle area so that I don't get bulk there. Because when I first started doing my nails, that was the first thing I had to combat, was bulk that was building down here by the cuticle area. So this is one of the ways I started to make sure that doesn't happen. So you can see here there's a little bit of an apex building, and that's good. That's enough, because for me, since I know that I do a lot of dip powder applications over my builder gel overlay, I don't want the builder gel to be too thick. If all I ever did was gel polish manicures like this one, this didn't really add thickness to my nails. Well, maybe a little bit, but nothing like when I do dip powders. So, I don't know. I want to leave myself as many options as I can. So this amount of, I think this amount of apex is going to be good, because again, anything I put over it is only adding strength to this. And this is really just to give me a good strong foundation. So after I'm happy with the self-leveling that it's done, and I have a little bit of an apex built, but not bulk, which is good, I'm going to do my little light trick again. So sometimes and you have to remember that your application of gel might be thicker than, the suggested time would allow for. So if you know, like I'm redoing my minute right now, and I'm going to do another partial cure just to make sure that this coat, which is thicker because I built the apex, I want to make sure it's cured. Just because I enjoy doing my nails and I don't want to get that nasty allergy that rips up your skin and separates your nail from the nail bed. Who needs that? Not me. Color me cautious. I'm going to make sure my gel is cured. All right. And when you're building your apex and your builder gel is a little thicker especially, you may want to, keep that in mind. To save you time, I'll be back when the filing is complete. Now that I feel like this is fully cured, and I can't even bend it at all now, so that tells me it's strong enough. Before you go and file, after you've applied your builder gel overlay to your natural nail, and you're ready to do your filing and shaping, you're going to want to remove, oopsie, that was bad. The builder gel has a sticky layer on top. You need to remove that from your nail before you start filing. Otherwise, you are going to add that sticky layer to your files, whether you hand file or your e-file what are they called? Bits. You don't want to gunk up your bit, and you don't want to ruin your files. So that's why. And see if you can hear this. That squeak tells you that you're down to the builder gel and the inhibition layer or sticky layer is gone. All right, so let me see if I can show you. Okay, you can see the apex is built, but see this right here? I'm going to be making sure that that's filed flat. And I look at the nail from every angle, and look at how my nails curl. They start to curl down. So I'm going to be filing under there too to straighten that out, because I'm trying to get rid of those ends of my nails that curl down. And I notice that sometimes that's because of product, so I'll make sure there's no product building up there. I'll shape and file and I'll be right back. One thing I wanted to say before I do my own filing is, please remember this is only 2 thin layers of builder gel with a little bit of an apex. You don't want to file too much or you're going to be hitting your natural nail. Okay, this is your foundation, your base. Gel is soft. It's softer than dip powder. So if you're used to working with dip powder, you're not going to want to press as hard. I'm only going to buff mine. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to use a file at all because my shape is fine. And I'm actually, the only reason I'm bothering at all is because of this part right here I want to make even. But other than that, I'm just going to be lightly letting the buffer do the work for me. And I'm just going to rough it up a little so my base coat will stick so that I can put my top coat on and be done and call it done for the night. But yeah, don't do too much. Gel is soft. You don't need to do a lot. You don't need to press. Let your file or your buffer do the work for you. All right, I'm going to go do that. I'll be right back. Since this is only the second time that I've applied fresh builder gel to a natural nail, I've learned some things. I've learned that from this stage, the very first builder gel overlay application, I'm keeping it thinner. Because anything I do after this is only going to build on top of it. So this is thinner than the last time I did it. All right, so base coat, which is might not be necessary, but I figure I want my top coat to stick because my top coat on this builder gel overlay is what my peel base is going to stick to. Everything is a progression built on top of this. Always before a manicure, I use my peel off base, and that sticks to a nice, clean top coat. So I need my top coat to stick. I need it to stay. I need it to be smooth. So I start that process with the base coat that the top coat sticks to. I drop it on the apex area, and then I push back towards the cuticle. And since this will inform the top coat as to where I want it to go, I take my time. I go slowly. I try not to touch my skin. And I make sure that my layer is thin and exactly where I want my top coat to go. Because don't forget, this is going to leave a sticky layer once I cure it for 60 seconds. And that sticky layer is going to tell the top coat where to go. It's all a progression. One step informs the next step all the way until the end. Okay, I don't have any pooling. I don't have any gel gathering at my side walls or the cuticle area. So I'm going to hold it upside down for a second, make sure it's leveling. And then I'm going to put it in the light for 60 seconds. I'm going to introduce it to the light slowly so I don't get a heat spike. And then I'm going to let it just sit in the light for the rest of the time. Now I truly am done with my base coat. And this is a talent that every nail artist has. Opening and closing bottles with one hand. If you can't do that, do you even do your nails? I'm done with the builder gel for now. I might put another coat of builder gel on tomorrow if I don't feel like my nail is strong enough. I will just buff off the top coat and apply base coat and then another coat of builder gel until I'm happy with the strength. But for now, this is the process. You'll have a full account of what it takes to add a builder gel overlay to one nail. So if this is something you want to do for both of your hands, just multiply what we're going through in this video times 10. All right, this is my shiny Ultra Shine top coat in clear. And I was in a car accident years ago and I lost 35% of I lost 35% use of each arm from nerve damage. So when you see me struggle with simple little things, or if you see my hand shake or anything, that's probably why, due to that nerve damage. All right, now this is double dipped, HEMA-free, no wipe, ultra shine top coat in clear. Okay, to avoid pooling at the sidewalls and cuticle area, I always make sure that I'm brushing all of the excess gel off my brush. Once, twice, whatever is necessary. I drop the brush on the apex area, and then I work my way towards the cuticle without touching it, ideally. And then I drag down to the tip of the nail. Again, trying not to let anything pool in the side, near the sidewalls or the cuticle. This is going to be what I paint my peel base onto. So I need it to be smooth and consistent and full coverage. Smooth being, I think, the most important. And again, that's because of my peel base. The peel base works better when it has a nice smooth surface to stick to. So I hold the top coat upside down. I hold my hand upside down so that the top coat can self-level. Again, one hand. Now that's top coat, so I should be able to, yep. All right, there we go. Oh, my hands are sweating. A little bit of an apex, not too much, no bulk by the cuticle, and I got the tip filed down so it's nice and even. So we do this. Yeah, see, I'm moving my finger before the nail. So after the top coat and all of that, looks good. See, you can see the damage to my nail under there, but that's because I forced off the nail. That's my bad. You shouldn't do that. You should probably soak off or file it down or whatever. I had neither the patience or, you know, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that I would rather chop my nails off than soak them in acetone at this point because the acetone does not like my skin. So there we have it. A full nail, fresh builder gel overlay. Feels good, feels light, feels nice. I like it. All right. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If you like this video and this kind of information and demonstration, let me know by hitting the like button below. That helps me, that would help get this information out to more of the DIY nail community because YouTube will recommend the video more if it sees that people like it. So help me out. Help your friends in the DIY community out. Share this video with them. Tell all your friends. I'm good with that. All right. Another Saturday night on the books. Another builder gel video. The next video will be whatever I decide to do to this hand here. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Good luck, adventurers.